Here in Belgium, it feels like we've been in a dark cave for the past year of pandemic and lockdown and another lockdown. And a couple weeks ago, somebody came into the darkness of the cave and said, "Stand up, we're going to take you somewhere else." And then we could see these open sky through the entrance of the cave, and there's a sunshine and the beach out there, and things are opening up, and we have hope again. And then a couple days later, they say, "No, actually, we're not taking you out. We're taking you farther into the cave." So here we are talking about a stricter lockdown, and it starts this weekend, and we're back into how things were exactly 1 year ago. And this is discouraging and frustrating. We were already tired from everything, and it is difficult. And in talking to people, I know everybody is feeling this as a weight on us. So we have a um, opportunity here, as the saying in the U.S. is "sink or swim." That you can kind of through all this pandemic and restrictions, there's been the temptation to just sink into Netflix and YouTube and video games and sink into the lack of exercise and the eating and getting out of shape and sink into the isolation and even to choose more isolation when you could get out and see somebody, just feeling the lack of motivation. And there are some people who are just slowly sinking into depression. And there's good reasons for all of these things to happen, but it's not good for us. And the real challenge is that the things that we need the most is contact with other people, seeing friends, seeing family, and worshiping together as a church. Those are the things we need most, and those are exactly the things that we don't have available. So, what are we going to do so that we don't sink, but we can swim and stay on the surface during this time? Two things. One is some things aren't available to us, but let's take everything that is available. We can, on our own individual level, seek God, and that is good. One of the good things through the pandemic and restrictions is it's pushed everybody to an individual level that in the end, we can't rely on other people to do the praying for us or to read the Bible for us. Worship is not something that you just simply watch other people do, but that happens with all of us. Now, it's more difficult on our own without the group going on, kind of pulling us along together, but it's possible. So we take those advantage individually. And then as a church, we still have things going on, still have things that are available to us. We have prayer meetings online and Bible study. We have worship. It's all online. And I know it's not the same. I hear from people saying, just doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel good. I agree. It doesn't feel the same. It's not nearly as good, but it is a lot better than nothing. That's a lot better than just doing nothing at all. And maybe you don't want to do something online, but still probably what you choose to do involves a screen and it's watching something else. Take advantage of the opportunities that are available. And besides the things as a church, online meetings and worship and so on, get out of the house, meet with that group of four people that's allowed, go for a walk, meet in somebody's backyard, somebody who has a garden. And those of us who do have a backyard, we have the privilege of inviting people over to go into that backyard. I think that's still technically allowed with the new rules, but not entirely sure. And I think that all of us need a prayer partner, that you've got to have somebody you call at least once a week and you just spend a few minutes talking about how you're doing and pray for each other. I have several people, and it has been so good to me, for me. So I encourage you to do that. And there have been a couple of groups that have started recently focused on spiritual friendship, really getting to know one another and getting to know the Lord together. If you need any help finding a prayer partner or starting up a group for spiritual friendship, let me know. I love to help people get those things going. And one thing that I have found that, like probably everybody, there's been times when I just am sinking into the wasting time and becoming a blob and not really being active and, letting the situation drag me down. But there have been other times when I've sort of decided or found that discipline and self control were within my reach. And when I have asked God for it, saying just very simply, would you please give me self control? It kind of felt like God was saying, oh, I didn't know you wanted that. It's been available all the time, but I just was content, doing you kind of halfway things. And when I asked, God, would you give me this self control? God is happy to give it. It's been available to me. Now I still have to take it and use it, but I am in these days fasting more than I've ever done, exercising more regularly than I ever have before. I have more prayer partners and built in prayer times through that than I've ever had before. And so starting to swim a little more rather than sink. And I want to encourage you, take advantage of the things that are available and ask God for the ability to exercise self-control and discipline. This is a hard time. It's going to be a hard time. We will get through it. We will see each other face to face, and God will show his faithfulness.